Okay, we'll call it to order. Welcome to the November 25th, 2024 regular meeting of the East Bethel City Council. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
Motion's made to adopt tonight's agenda. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Miller seconds. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Vote is unanimous to approve that. Okay. We're joined, first item on the agenda, presentations and public hearing. We're joined by Lieutenant Derek Peters of the Anoka County Sheriff's Office. How are you tonight, sir?
I always say fantastic, I think, don't I?
Yeah,
I'm wonderful tonight.
Well, you're looking awful happy here.
Is wonderful better or worse
It's
than
a holiday
fantastic?
week, right? Short week. Good evening, everyone. Happy early Thanksgiving. So October, we had a total of 516 calls for service, which was actually busier than September. So that was our second busiest month this year. Deputies handled 1 burglary, 5 thefts, and 5 damage to property calls. A total of 29 custodial arrests were made in the city. 200 traffic stops were also conducted by our deputies. That was our highest monthly traffic total throughout the year so far. And that resulted in 42 traffic citations. So pretty busy month, some of our self-initiated stuff. Some of our notable calls occurred, one being on the 7th of October at 10 p.m. Deputy Litzner conducted a traffic stop on a vehicle on 65 north of 221st for an equipment violation. While speaking with the driver, Deputy Litzner believed that the male was using a fake name as he had trouble reciting his full name and date of birth. Deputy Litzner asked the male a second time to spell his name, which he was unable to do, so I threw up some red flags for our officer. The male was ultimately removed from the vehicle and detained until our deputies learned the male's correct name. The male had multiple warrants for his arrest out of Isani County. The male was taken into custody and transported to jail, where he was booked on false information and the outstanding warrants out of Isani County. On the 11th of October at 2:14 a.m., Deputy Menard stopped a vehicle at Highway 65 at Viking for an improper lane change. The vehicle's plates were also listed as impounded. Deputy Menard spoke with the driver, who admitted to him that he knew that he did not have a valid driver's license. Deputy Menard learned that the driver's driving status was canceled and inimical to public safety, so he had the driver step out of the vehicle and placed him into handcuffs. The driver was arrested and transported to jail, where he was booked for that offense. On the 13th of October at 6:23 p.m., Deputy Gruey observed a vehicle traveling southbound on 65 south of 221st with heavy front-end damage. Deputy Gruey estimated the vehicle was traveling approximately 15 miles per hour. He stopped the vehicle, spoke to the female driver, who said she had recently hit something and was just trying to get her car home. While speaking with the driver, Deputy Gruey noticed signs of alcohol impairment and ultimately had the driver step out to perform standardized field sobriety testing, which she did and ultimately failed. Driver consented to a PBT, which showed a preliminary value of 0.10. The driver admitted to also having recently taken her sleeping medication. The driver was arrested and transported to the sheriff's office, where she provided a DMT sample, which resulted in a final value of 0.09. The driver was transported to jail and booked for misdemeanor DWI. And then finally, on the 19th of October at 4 p.m., Deputy Martinez learned that 2 people who had active warrants were possibly staying at a residence in the 1100 block of 231st Avenue Northeast. Deputy Martinez stated in his report that he does regular patrols through that neighborhood and drove to that area to see if he could locate these 2 individuals he believed were staying there. While conducting surveillance outside of the residence, he observed 2 other people that he knows exit the home. He approached them and asked if the 2 people he was looking for were inside. He was told that they were, and they offered to go back inside and wake the 2 people up. So a short time later, both parties came outside and were advised that they were under arrest for their outstanding warrants. At that point, one of the individuals turned around and tried to get back into the house and had to be restrained before being placed into handcuffs. Both individuals with outstanding warrants were arrested, transported to jail, and released to staff. So finally, as the holidays are fast approaching, so is our colder weather. So my typical PSA at this point in time is our thin ice warning. So the Minnesota DNR recommends that there needs to be a solid 4 inches for walking and 5 inches for any snowmobile or smaller ATV out on our lakes. There are many factors that determine the stability and relative safety of the ice on our local lakes. So if there is any doubt, please just stay off of it, and wishing everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.
Thank you much.
Thank you. Any
Thank you.
questions, guys? All good? Okay. Chief Sanow, East Bethel Fire Department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Evening.
This is our October fire report. In the month of October, the fire department responded to 98 calls for service, 67 were medicals, 4 accidents, 4 fires, which I do believe 3 of those were the same address because we had a rekindle of a fire
Over on Jackson.
over on Jackson, yeah. And 6 alarms. As of today, we've responded to 936 calls for service compared to 866 in 2023. Current trend is going to put us right around 1,020 calls for the year. With Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday, we advise people to be careful when cooking their meals. Don't leave the stoves unattended. If you plan on deep fat frying a turkey or anything else, do it outside in the driveway, away from everything. Make sure the turkey is completely thawed and it is dry. When putting it in the cooker, do so slowly so do not splash oil out of the pot. If the pot starts on fire, put a lid on it and don't move it, because most of the people spill it when they move it. So that just spreads the fire. And if you plan on traveling, please give yourself plenty of time to get to your destination. Do not rush, so we're not going to accidents and that. Deputy Peters covered the cold weather thing for me, so I'm not going to go over that again. I'm pretty sure we'll have people out in the channel by Saturday. And that. With the Thanksgiving holiday after that, then we get into the Christmas holiday and that, and people will be getting live trees. It takes up to 3 quarts of water per day for a 7-foot tree to keep it hydrated. So make sure you keep your trees well hydrated, so we're not going to get calls for fires on trees. And that. The fire department, along with the Anoka County Sheriff's Reserve, will be out with Santa on the fire truck on December 14th. We'll be starting at 4:30 at the seniors apartment. From there, we'll be going to the Village of East Bethel apartments, then to Cedarwood. This year, we're going to concentrate on the west side of the city. We haven't been over there. I do believe it's been about 3 years since we've been to the west side of the city. There's a map on the East Bethel Facebook page, plus the other East Bethel pages. You can go to that map, and if you click on each stop, it'll give you an expected time of arrival. We could be 10 minutes late, we could be 10 minutes early. And along the way, we will be picking up food and that for NACE, to donate back to NACE. The last 2 trucks in the parade will be picking up the food. And that just wave them down if you have anything to give to them. And NACE has given us a few items that they are in need of, peanut butter being one, canned corn, pasta sauce in jars or in cans, cooking oil, canned beef stew, and diapers of all sizes. But they'll take anything as long as it isn't expired. Don't give them their expired food, because all they're going to do is throw it away.
No.
With that, one more thing. Mr. DeRoche, Mr. Look asked me to explain the Alina bill to you.
Well, yeah,
Okay, Alina does rent space from us at the Fire Station 1, but the cost of training versus renting does not cover the whole training part of it. So that, what I think is $100 some. I'm not for sure. But that's what was left of the training costs.
Okay.
So yes, we do swap out their space for our training and that. With that, I'd like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll stand for any questions.
Well, I just happened to notice online, you were talking about the turkeys and the hot oil. Guy was using an engine hoist, which I thought was a pretty good idea.
Yeah,
You know, then you can stay far enough away from it. And
just make sure to put it in slow, make sure it's dry.
I've seen people put frozen ones in,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's kind of a mess.
Yeah.
You ever seen it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Was there any updates on that topper fire?
The topper fire is, as you guys know, causes under investigation. I cannot say, plus I do not know. We had the Anoka County Fit Team come out and investigate it, along with the guy's insurance company. They investigated also. So, I know they're cleaning up the space, and hopefully by next spring, summer, they're rebuilding. That-
All right.
Anything else for Rod?
Yeah, Chief, what exactly happened on that call we had to go back 3 times for?
That, the first call we got on that in October was actually I got called to a duty officer call on that, with smoke in the area. When I arrived on Jackson 184th, we got paged out on a call that said the house was on fire. The homeowner was burning brush on a windy day and that. It got into the leaf debris. The leaf debris then burnt around the house, which then started the deck on fire. Our first truck in, on the first time we were there, was a DNR truck with a small hose. We were able to contain the fire from spreading, but we do not think we got everything out, because underneath the deck there was a metal plate, and we don't know if we got all the leaf debris out underneath that. We're not for sure. But something rekindles. Fires rekindle all the time. And the next call we got was at midnight on a rekindle of a fully blown house fire. And the third time we went back was just to put out hot spots. A deputy was out there, and he seen part of the roof was still burning, so we went out and put that out. But our mutual aid partners were a great help there, and that I do believe Oak Grove was there. They did a majority of the hose. They had the majority of the hose out, because they beat our engine there by about 10 seconds.
Does there exist a piece of equipment that looks for hot spots in the walls and stuff?
We have thermal imagers,
All right.
cameras, but we use that on that fire, and we do believe everything was below 100 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, you see it on TV, you don't know,
Yep,
you don't know if it's real.
Yep, no, they,
Darned.
yep. Most of our, we have about 5 thermal imagers in the city.
Anything else? Thanks, Chief.
Okay, thanks, have a happy holidays.
You too. Is anyone signed up for the public forum?
Good Thanksgiving, Derek.
Yeah.
Mayor, I see no signatures on the sign-up sheet.
Okay. Move on to item 6, which is the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion's made. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Discussion. Blake, you want to pull anything?
Yeah, bills. I just got a question on a couple of bills. So I
So
think-
you want to pull the approved bills, item A? Anybody want to pull anything other than item A? Okay, so we've got a motion made and seconded to approve the consent agenda as amended. That's minus item A. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None heard. Was passed unanimously. So, item A, Bob DeRoche.
Arena operations, $917 for small tools and minor equipment. Jeremiah how does that work? Does he just go buy tools and then bill the city, or how does that work?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor and Council, the tools that they would need, he would go and purchase, and then that would go against the account for the arena, the ice arena. So, as you know, they have their separate budget, and they're operating on that. It's running in the red because we're gearing up now to hockey season.
Right.
But they're selling more ice now than they've ever sold before, as well as advertising and things of that nature. So it's, from a financial site picture, it's looking very good, better than it's looked in the past. But yes, as they have general expenses for tools and that, then that would go against those expenses in that budget.
Well, so we're selling a lot of ice, but how much opportunity does the East Bethel residents have to use that rink? Or is that,
I know, Mr. Mayor and Council, I know that that's come up in the past, and that's a question that I think probably needs a good answer to. I don't know that we have a whole lot of requests right now for East Bethel skaters and that. As we get more into the winter season, that may change. And then depending on what hours are sold and trying to accommodate, make everybody happy, I think that's the goal, right? I mean, it's we want to make sure that we can cash flow this while still providing a benefit to the community.
I mean, I can understand wanting, it's a business, but when East Bethel residents, I know in the past, East Bethel residents took to the back seat, and it was, well, the rental people come first. Well, it's East Bethel residents arena. I mean, they're kind of doing most of it. And we've got neighbors now that play hockey. They go into Forest Lake
Yeah, last time they went to Andover.
or Andover, when you got a city with an ice arena. I think that should be open.
Yeah, there should be some open ice time, whether it's for rent or a reasonable rent.
And not just the outside stuff.
Yeah, if possible, yeah. I agree.
Mr. Mayor, I can bring this up in our staff meeting on Tuesday tomorrow, and just kind of determine if there's selected times that are out there that we can advertise, or if we can better find some times that the public might have first dibs on it. If they don't take it by a certain date, then we sell it, type of thing. So we want to make sure we can maximize it if no public will be there. So,
Right.
yeah.
Is that all you had, Bob, or?
Yeah, Ernest Excavating Incorporated, how does that work? Does the ice arena bring in an excavator, or is that something Nate takes care of, or what? We got a bill here for $1,180 for Ernest Excavating.
Yeah, for Mr. Mayor, for that one, that was an excavator that was needed for the topper truck fire to try and pull that burned portions apart. So because we don't have an excavator, we contract with them if we need one. So.
All right,
Anything else, Bob?
I'm good.
Well, since you open it up, I'll just confirm what I think I know is the answer to this, and that is the $18,137 to Carpets, Inc. was for the City Hall offices, correct?
Mr. Mayor and Council, yes, the City Hall is complete as far as the carpet replacement is concerned, so it all looks very similar to this now.
Everybody's ecstatic?
I think everybody's ecstatic. It was a little painful, packing everything up and putting it all back together.
It's a pain. Yep.
But that's never a bad exercise, because you usually find things you can probably, jettison. But
Once every 20 or 30 years, whether it needs it or not.
right.
Yeah,
So.
well, it's good.
Well, that being said, I move to approve A of the bills.
Okay, Mr. DeRoche moves to approve item A of the consent agenda. Looking for a second?
Second.
Mr. Miller seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None heard. Motion passes unanimously. Okay. We have nothing under new business, nothing under department reports, and under other, item 9.0, closed session for the city administrator performance reviews.
Mayor, I think we start with the staff report and then council reports.
Oh, you're right, yeah, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I can, I'll just give a few reports here. First of all, December 6th is the tree lighting event here at City Hall. And I know that Dallas has been putting a lot of time in to make this successful. I think it very well will be successful.
And that's on a Friday, December 6th,
December 6th at
Okay.
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
And they will also be collecting food for NACE Food Shelf.
Good.
So if folks want to swing by, bring some food with you and help those in need. I wanted to also indicate after some discussion that we had two fire programs that we were using. The first was First Due, which is supplied, I believe, through the Fire Protection Council in Anoka County. No cost to us in addition for what we already pay. And that is a strictly for first responders item program. And then we also had Active 911, and I believe we'll be discontinuing Active 911 as that's kind of duplicative, and then going just to First Due. So Pulse Point is still available for free for folks that want to keep on top of what fires are happening or what calls are going out. But I wanted to make everyone aware of that. This meeting, as you can see, it was a short meeting. The next meeting and possibly the next two meetings will be longer ones, as we're kind of doing a lot of wrap up here before the end of the year. We'll be having the grant from Anoka County coming through on broadband, and some other interesting projects that are kind of they need to come to conclusion before the end of the year.
Yeah.
So those will be longer meetings there. And then I also just wanted to give a shout out and a thanks to Representative Peggy Scott, who came to the town hall meeting here. Very thankful for her advocacy for our community, your community, down in the state capitol. I had the opportunity to speak with her after the meeting, a little bit about some of the needs that we have, and kind of refresh her memory and help her be prepared for when hitting the ground here in the next legislative session. So that's going to be critical for some of the work that we're doing, and we certainly appreciate her.
Yeah, it
help
was
and
very nice
advocacy.
of her to show up for our fall town hall meeting.
Yep, so, and that's all I have.
Okay, do we have any council reports?
Everybody have a good Thanksgiving.
Okay, that's a good one.
I hope everyone has good Thanksgiving, safe Thanksgiving, no deep frying turkeys
Frozen
inside.
turkeys.
And I hope it's a safe and loving one for everyone. Before we go into closed session, I think one of our members and residents in attendance brought some stuff tonight, so we might want to deal with that before we go into closed session. But I'll let them
We don't know
explain.
what you're talking about, at least I don't.
I'll let them explain before we go in. You'll hang around till after?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, anything else on council reports?
I don't move we go into,
Not, then we should go into the closed session. Do we need a motion to do so?
motion
Okay.
made.
Motion made by Mr. DeRoche to go into closed session. Do we have a second?
Second.
2 seconds, okay. Motion made and seconded. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, none heard. Try to make it quick. So we've had our closed session. Did you want to provide a summary?
Thank you, Mayor, council members. And for the residents of the city of East Bethel. City of East Bethel, City Council just performed a performance evaluation of the city administrator. I want to underscore that the performance evaluation by the City Council is one of the few exceptions to a mandatory open meeting. Under Minnesota law, Open Meeting Act, the council must provide a public summary of the results of the closed meeting session at the next board public meeting, which in this case would be Monday, December 9th of 2024. On the agenda will be a summary that I will author. It'll be part of the agenda, at which point then the council had it before. If for any reason that summary needs to be amended or changed in the eyes or the judgment of the council, that would be the time for them to do that. Once that's been done, then the council would approve that summary of the performance evaluation that was conducted with respect to the city administrator. With that, I want to make a few just administrative items. It was approximately 7:25 that the East Bethel City Council went into, or at least recessed the open meeting and proceeded to the closed session. It was approximately 8:12 p.m. that the closed session was adjourned by this council, and now we have resumed the recessed open meeting, at which point now I hand it back to the mayor.
Okay, anyone have anything further to speak to tonight?
Move to adjourn.
Motion's made and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None heard. It was unanimous.